Good evening and welcome into UINDY TV News. My name is Caden Colford.
And I'm Alli Cook. Thank you for joining us for our last newscast of the year. We're starting tonight with some updates with the latest in the war in Iran. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is facing lawmakers for the first time since the U.S. took action in the Middle East. This comes amid growing concerns over cost, strategy, and congressional authority. During a hearing today, Pentagon officials revealed the conflict has already cost the U.S. an estimated $25 billion. Most of that spending has gone towards munitions, along with operational costs and replacing military equipment. Democrats sharply criticized the war, calling it a costly conflict launched without approval from Congress. They also raised concerns about civilian casualties and questioned whether the U.S. forces were fully prepared for Iranian drone attacks. Republicans cited concerns over Iran's nuclear program and the risk of pulling back too soon. Still, some GOP members signaled they want the conflict to end and are watching closely as future votes in Congress could test support for the war.
And more from the Iran war. Oil prices are climbing again, hitting their highest levels in weeks as tensions escalate in the Middle East. Prices jumped more than 5% Wednesday after reports that Donald Trump is preparing to extend the U.S. naval blockade of Iran. Various companies' prices rose in the cost per barrel, some ranging from $105 to $117. According to the Wall Street Journal, President Trump is opting to continue the blockade strategy instead of escalating military action or stepping away from the conflict. Iran has refused to reopen the critical Strait of Hormuz, a key route for global oil shipments, further tightening supply. Oil markets will continue to react to any changes in the region, especially if supply routes remain blocked.
Heading over to the West Coast now, high-profile testimony continues in California as tech billionaire Elon Musk returns to the stand in his lawsuit against OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. The case, now in its third day, centers on Musk's claim that OpenAI abandoned its original nonprofit mission. Musk co-founded the company in 2015 and says the roughly $38 million he contributed was used for commercial purposes and did not align with the goal of benefiting humanity. Musk left OpenAI's board in 2018 after disagreements over the company's direction, including a failed attempt to merge with Tesla. He told the court he was not opposed to a for-profit arm, but only if it didn't dominate the nonprofit mission. Testimony is expected to continue this week.
King Charles III and Queen Camilla are in the United States for a historic state visit. The royal couple arrived yesterday. They were welcomed by President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump at the White House. The visit includes a packed schedule of ceremonial and diplomatic events. Later today, King Charles is expected to deliver a rare address to Congress, only the second time a British monarch has done so. The evening will wrap up with a formal state dinner at the White House. After their time in Washington, the King and Queen will travel to New York City to honor victims of the September 11 attacks before heading to Virginia. Their visit wraps up April 30th before continuing on to Bermuda.
The White House is pressuring House Republicans to act, urging them to accept a Senate-backed plan to partially reopen the Department of Homeland Security as a lengthy shutdown drags on. Officials from the Office of Management and Budget sent a memo Tuesday telling House Republicans to move forward with a compromise, even if it does not include new funding for immigration enforcement. The proposal already passed the Senate and would temporarily reopen DHS and ensure federal workers continue to get paid. But many House Republicans have pushed back, arguing any deal must also include funding for immigration agencies like ICE and Border Patrol. The standoff has stretched to 74 days now, making it the longest shutdown in U.S. history. Lawmakers are facing mounting pressure to reach a deal before the House leaves for recess, while the future of DHS remains uncertain.
Federal agents conducted raids in the Minneapolis area Tuesday morning as a part of an ongoing fraud investigation. A federal official said 22 search warrants were executed by the FBI and law enforcement agencies. Sources say most of the locations being searched appear to be recipients of Medicare funding, including child care centers. The Trump administration has accused fraudulent use of federal funding by Somali businesses in the Minneapolis area, leading to a federal investigation. A federal official says the raids are not connected to immigration enforcement. No arrests nor criminal charges were announced.
Thank you, Caden. And let's throw it over to Jace at the weather desk now. Jace, for the end of April, it's feeling a little cooler than I expected. What updates can you give us for tonight?
Yeah, looking outside, you mentioned it's a little bit cooler than usual, but I don't think anyone really minds. We're actually getting some decent spring weather here in Indiana compared to some of the weather we've received in previous years, up in the 80s, the 90s. So we look at today, The high was around 65 degrees, and that'll continue to be kind of where the temperature remains in that 60 to 50 degree area throughout most of the night. Should be a beautiful night. Shouldn't see anything in the way of any sort of rain or the likes, but we might see it a little bit as we head into tomorrow. We'll get into that future cast in a little bit and talk about why rain might have an issue tomorrow and why the weekend is going to be very, very nice. We'll get into that in a little bit of time, but first, some local news.
Welcome back to Grand Slam Sports. I'm Jace Hodge, and I'm going to be your host tonight.
And I'm your co-host, Charles Foster.
And I'm Jackson Strasburger, your sports analyst.
And that'll do it for today's edition of Grand Slam Sports.
Tune into Good Morning Greyhounds on UINDY TV on YouTube at 9 a.m. on Saturdays.
Start your morning right with entertainment, interviews, and games all on Good Morning Greyhounds on Saturdays at 9 a.m. And you can even spot a Greyhound.
And we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good evening and welcome back to UINDY TV News.
For the campus, local, and national headlines you need to know. Tune in to UINDY TV News, Mondays at 6.
Take it on a game-winning buzzer beater long range.
Ladies and gentlemen, at you, Freddie. We got to get off TikTok.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Paul Salinskis getting them threes up.
What are you talking about? Whoa. Due respect putting Anthony Davis up there. I do like it. No, he stinks but too. But just give Paul Pierce the ball with 10 seconds on the clock. He's getting you a bucket. Talking about Andre Iguodala.
You know, it's a great episode when we're screaming.
Jay Kelton to my left, Latif Mustafa, Addison Mosley, Rick Dunkel, this entire UINDY TV staff for having us on the desk. Last call.
Authorities are investigating after a body was recovered from a pond on the northwest side of Indianapolis. Police and fire crews responded Monday evening to the 6700 block of Barnwood Trace near Georgetown Road during a reported water rescue. During dive operations, firefighters located and recovered a body from a pond. Police say a death investigation has now been launched. Marion County Coroner has identified the victim as 41-year-old Clarence Leon Hudgens III. The investigation is still ongoing.
A Greenwood man was charged with a felony count of operating a vehicle while intoxicated after he dropped children off in Greenwood. Officers arrived in a residential area along West Fairview Road on a report of an intoxicated person. They arrived at 9 p.m. to find a gray Ford Fusion in the driveway of the residence. They located who they believed to be the suspect, Dustin Bach, in the driver's seat. The officers reportedly saw Bach's children in the back seat of the vehicle, and police asked him to step out of the car to test if he was under the influence of drugs and alcohol. Bach failed all tests and was asked to submit a breath test that came back with a 0.137. He was then arrested for operating a vehicle under intoxication with passengers under the age. His next court date is May 6th.
An 18-year-old has been charged with reckless homicide after being accused of shooting and killing a 17-year-old during a Shelbyville house party. Jaden McQuarrie is facing a level 5 felony charge and being held in jail on a $250,000 bond. The victim, who was later identified as Adelina Perez, and several other juveniles were hanging out at a home. A witness told police that McQuarrie pulled out a gun and began pointing a laser on the walls and the floors. A witness stated that Perez said something to the effect of telling McQuarrie to shoot her, and that's when McQuarrie discharged the gun. He then fled the scene. McQuarrie is scheduled to go on trial August 25th, and a pretrial conference in his case is slated for June 24th.
A new audit is raising serious concerns about Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett's Office of Public Health and Safety. The report found poor financial oversight, staff turnover, and ethics issues, including questionable contracts and weak follow-up on crime prevention programs. Director Andrew Merkley says improvements are already in progress, but critics are calling for more transparency and possibly pausing spending. Officials note that violent crime has dropped significantly in recent years despite the agency's challenges. The city is now reviewing the audit as reforms move forward.
Indiana high school athletes could soon cash in on their name, image, and likeness. A new proposal from the Indiana High School Athletic Association would allow students to profit while keeping schools out of the deals. Under the proposal, athletes can sign endorsement deals and build their professional brands, but only on their own. That means no school logos, no uniforms, and no use of school facilities. The IHSAA calls for personal branding activity and says the goal is to create opportunities while keeping competition fair across all schools. The proposal allows students to earn money through social media, endorsements, appearances, and even coaching or tutoring. But there are limits. Athletes cannot promote gambling, alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and they must report any deals to schools within 48 hours. The proposal goes before the board of directors on May 4th, and if approved, it could change the landscape for high school sports across the state.
Indiana leaders are launching a new statewide effort to boost jobs and wages using artificial intelligence. Governor Mike Braun announced the UINDAI initiative, aimed at helping businesses across the state adopt human-centered AI. The program will connect employers with tools, support, and talent to improve company operations and growth. State officials say the goal is to create high-quality jobs, increase wages, and make Indiana a national leader in AI readiness. The initiative is expected to reach more than 1 million residents and roll out in phases, starting with businesses. Leaders say the focus is on using AI to strengthen companies while creating more opportunity for workers.
A longtime movie destination in the Columbus, Indiana community is preparing to show its final films this week. UINDY TV reporter Regina Holguin spoke with staff members about what the theater has meant to them and the community. Here she is.
For years, this AMC theater has provided entertainment, jobs, and a place for the community to come together and enjoy the movie-going experience. As this location prepares for its final showings, employees and guests are reflecting on the memories created here and the impact this theater has had on the community.
My name is Julianne Jones. I am a manager at the AMC Columbus 12. I've been a manager here for 2 years.
My name is Keegan Easton, and I'm an employee at AMC.
I think it is sad, but personally, from being in the industry as long, not super long, but as long as I have, and seeing like the progression and like the impact that COVID had on theaters and everything, I don't think that this is an uncommon occurrence. I think it will happen with other ones, and we might transition into a different type of movie-going experience. Might just be all streaming, and I'm okay with that.
I kind of thought it was an April Fool's joke because all the employees found out on April 1st, except our managers. So at first I kind of didn't believe it. And then as time went on, I kind of figured it's not an April Fool's joke, and we're actually closing. Pretty sad because this is my first job, and I thought I'd be here a lot longer than just almost a year, so kind of upsetting.
I've had a lot of people talk to me about concerns like that, of there not being enough entertainment in Columbus. And we do have the other cinema, but it is a much smaller cinema. So a lot of people are concerned that there will just be no activities for themselves or their children, and I think that would be like a negative impact. It would be great if another theater company wanted to purchase the building, but I don't know if that's a sustainable option.
Well, I feel like when you have such a big movie theater closing, you're kind of taking away from the community, and there's not a lot to do in Columbus, so it sucks for the community. There are a lot of youth in our community and like teenagers, and teenagers want something to do. Like they don't want to just be stuck inside all the time.
We tried to do like staff parties, and we have an awards thing every year where we give people trophies and prizes for doing good throughout the last year, and I think those situations were very enjoyable.
My favorite movie I've watched since I've come here is Avatar 3, Project Hail Mary. They're really great movies. And Dune Part 2. That was before I started working here, but it's also a really great movie.
As this AMC theater prepares for its final showings, many community members say the theater has been their favorite destination for entertainment, bringing people together through shared movie experiences and lasting memories. Reporting for UINDY TV, I'm Regina Holguin.
Thank you, Reggie.
Jace, it's a big weekend for us here on campus. What are we expecting this weekend?
Yeah, if you look into tomorrow, there's a decent chance at some rain. Looking out at the map right now, this is as of today. You have that system of high pressure that will give us some dry weather as we head towards the weekend. We have behind it a little bit of rain that might cause some issues tomorrow. Shouldn't be much, should just be some widely scattered rain that might, be more centralized in some areas compared to most. It should move out of the way in time for Friday, though. Friday, high of 64, low of 47. Things might get a little chilly overnight over the course of the week, a little bit colder than you might anticipate or expect come this time of year, especially as we head into May. But for Saturday, which, is graduation day for a lot of us, that will be a beautiful day outside. 68 degrees the high, partly cloudy skies, and just a little bit of a breeze. Sunday as well, a little bit warmer, 72 degrees, low of 53. Should be a beautiful weekend for everybody to have. As we head into sports, though, that'll be next here on UINDY TV News.
Are you riding? Say you never ever leave from beside me.
We'll leave it to our actual athletes. Watch UINDY TV's live sports broadcast on GLVCSN and YouTube.
Are you feeling alone in your faith? UINDY Catholic gives you an opportunity to get involved in a religious community on campus, providing sacramental needs and fellowship for prospective students and giving you a sense of belonging.
We just want you guys to know that God loves you, He delights in you, and He's in awe of you. And we would love to meet you. So you should come on out.
UINDY Catholic, a community for you.
For children who may have high-functioning autism, may have ADHD, processing challenges, working memory issues, sensory integration issues, those types of challenges. It's a place where human beings are valued, children are respected. It's a progressive school that takes a hands-on approach.
EA Sports has officially announced the cover athletes for its upcoming video game, UFC 6. Light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira will appear on the standard edition cover, while featherweight star Max Holloway is featured on the Ultimate Edition. The selection highlights two of MMA's most exciting fighters, with Pereira known for his powerful knockouts and Holloway recognized for his fast-paced striking style. The latest installment from EA Sports continues the popular fighting franchise as fans and gamers prepare to step back into the virtual octagon.
The Indiana Fever are locking in their franchise star. The team has picked up their fourth-year option on Caitlin Clark's rookie contract. Fever announced the move Tuesday, keeping Clark under the contract through 2027 season. Rookie deals in WNBA typically run 3 years, with a team option for a fourth. Clark recently returned from a 9-month layoff, playing just 13 games in 2025. She also competed with USA Basketball in a World Cup qualifying tournament where she earned MVP honors. In her first preseason action, Clark scored 7 points in just under 17 minutes in New York. The Fever wrap up preseason play this week at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, hosting the Dallas Wings on April 30th and the Nigeria national team on May 2nd. The final preseason game will air locally on WALV TV in Indianapolis.
May is almost here, which means racing season is officially underway at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Fans can look forward to several races throughout the month, including the Santiago Grand Prix on the road course, Legends Day celebrations, and Carb Day festivities just before race weekend. And speaking of the Indy 500, driver Catherine Legg is set to compete in this year's Indianapolis 500, and she is the only woman assigned to be a driver this year. Leg will drive the number 11 entry through a partnership between AJ Foyt Racing and HMD Motorsports as preparations continue for the month of May at the Brickyard. The Indy 500 returns Memorial Day weekend as fans from around the world gather for the greatest spectacle in racing.
And speaking of it being May, graduation is right around the corner at the University of Indianapolis. And for the seniors of UINDYTV News, it's more than just a ceremony. It's the final chapter of years of collegiate hard work. From their first time stepping in front of a camera or behind a mic to producing and hosting their own shows, these seniors have spent their collegiate careers learning the ins and outs of the media industry. Faculty have said this graduating class leaves behind a strong legacy, one built on teamwork and dedication. As they prepare to walk across the stage on Saturday, these seniors are also preparing for what comes next. Whatever that may be, we want to say good luck and thank you from UINDYTV News. Caden, it's time.
It's about that time. It's been a long time, but really it's gone quick, Alli. I can remember sitting at the desk 3 years ago, obviously different stories, but the news, last call, Good Morning Greyhounds. I might have been on Real Talk once ever, but it was a good time.
See, I can't relate. I was living it up at the Reflector.
You were diversified. That's why the resume looks good.
Exactly. But I'll see you there Saturday.
Most definitely.
Absolutely. Hopefully. Thank you for joining us tonight on UINDYTV News.
Be sure to check out all of our latest products on YouTube and stay up to date on all things sports, news, and entertainment on our social media at UINDYTV.
As always, have a good night and be safe and deep. Thank you for the great year.